It is Marcus Washington, MTC Media, wrapping up Georgetown 66-41 win over Wagner. Probably the big news of this game was that Wagner went over 11 minutes without scoring, including not scoring until 11-something left in the second half. I mean, Georgetown outscored them 18-0 to start the second half, and the drought for Wagner had went all the way back to the first half. So, Coach Cooley talked about at the post-game press conference, just almost like a new energy, more of an energy on defense, especially in that second half. And I thought one of the points that both Cooley and Mack made was, it's not only getting stops, it's the type of stops you get. And in the second half, Georgetown got stops that led to fast break points directly of getting out and running and either getting in transition or getting in secondary transition, which helps the offense flow. And you saw that a lot in the second half. You saw the dead ball situations. Cooley showed some full court pressure. A couple times he was subbed right before that second free throw. One time he got Burks in. The other time he got in already, and then they immediately went full court. He came out full court after a timeout. So you're starting to see Georgetown build to what they think they can be once the Big East schedule starts to hit, which is going to be pretty soon. It's going to be up on you before you know it. So just some of the highlights from Georgetown. I mean, Micah Peavy, 4 of 9, 3 of 5 from 3. Look, let's just be honest. At TCU, his offense didn't show a lot. They have a different philosophy, a different type of coach, a different type of trust in being offensively aggressive. That happens from program to program to program. But coming to Georgetown, you're seeing how hard he's worked on his offense, the development of his offense, and certainly in this situation, the opportunity to show his offense and not just be known as a defensive stopper. Now, what has impressed me with Peavy so far this season is that his offense of aggression and being more offensive and being more involved and being able to do more things, that his defense has not suffered from that at all. That he is truly in this program a two-way guy. And that is meaningful, especially for a perimeter person. So to flip that switch, we all want to shoot more, right? But can we shoot more, be effective, make game-winning plays, impact winning? And that's not as easy as what people think. And Peavy so far, and it's a non-conference schedule, and I get it, and then they have that loss to Notre Dame and stuff like that, but Peavy is starting to show that, and those are things that need to be developed in the non-conference. That's why I know sometimes people say, oh my gosh, look at these games, why do you schedule these teams, blah, 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 blah. But in the case of Georgetown, and Ed Cooley has said this time and time again, of the schedule reflecting where the program is. And this is the case. This is why you schedule these games in this way, because they are truly using these games to prepare for the Big East, and they need to. They need to. Malik Mack had 16 points. He actually led the team in scoring. He got fouled on a couple of three-pointers. He kind of hit the bottom part of his body, kind of leans into the shot, which causes contact, which will be interesting once the Big East season comes here, because Mack does not kick out his leg, but his legs kind of slant. And Big East coaches are going to say, he's kicking out his leg. Don't reward him for that. Because Mack has had, multiple 4-point plays this season already? And that's, especially on that corner, Jay. It happens all the time. It's going to be interesting how referees and officials call that and how opposing coaches want to attack it. But one of the things they talked about in this game was trying to get Mack unleashed, trying to get him started early. Not only did he lead the team in points, he did lead the team in shot attempts. He got to the free throw line, 6 for 8 from the free throw line. And that is something that this is what you're going to notice about Georgetown is there are a group of guys who are going to have to lead them in scoring, and it's probably not going to be those same guys every game. You know, sometimes it's going to be Sorber, sometimes it's going to be Peavy, sometimes it's going to be Matt. I'm telling you, sometimes it's going to be Epps because it has to, not because these guys are saying, well, let me go get mine, because this is what type of team this is going to be, and how scoring isn't everything. It's going to be the opponent and having willing facilitators. And that goes to Jaden Epps. Jaden Epps was 1 for 5, 1 for 4 from 3. He only had 2 assists. He had 3 steals. So you look at this and you say, well, I'm going to tell you what, Jaden Epps deserves all the credit in the world. Here's a guy who in the offense last season was all everything. And having coached a level below to go to a kid and say, hey, look, we've upped the talent. We want to win more. We need for you to play differently. We probably need for you to facilitate in spots where last year you shot. We certainly going to need you to play better defense. We're going to need for you to pull that back. You know, not be a big points on a bad team guy. Be a guy who contributes to winning. And give Jaden Epps a lot of credit, because up to the point that we're talking, you have seen game by game by game that he is doing those other things trying to help this team win. Now, I'm telling you, especially, it's always been difficult. But in the era of the transfer portal, do you know how difficult it is? You saw UNLV quarterback leave a team after an undefeated start over money. So it's not, and Epps does deserve credit for it. Thomas Sorber, terrific. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Does not force anything. He is a young big who is a skilled passer, above average, even if he was a senior and he is a freshman. He always concentrates on making the right basketball play. That's the only thing that young man is concerned about doing. That's his secret sauce to being as good as he has been as a freshman. He is a skilled big man who is willing to make the right basketball play because he's an above average passer. He can finish on the collegiate level. He can rebound out of the space on the collegiate level, and he's incredibly unselfish. I'm telling you, talk about getting a diamond for a program that is trying to reestablish itself. To have Thomas Sorber and to be able to do this and do this willingly and do this with a smile on his face and not have people in his ear talking about, man, that team stinks. You need to get this and that. And why didn't you have a double-double? I tell you what, he deserves more credit than these numbers ever say. He really, really does. So Georgetown takes care of an opponent that they should take care of in the way they should take care of them, which is a check mark for this program, and which is a step forward for this program. So next out will be Saturday at 4 when Albany comes back to Cap 1. A couple things to leave off. Malik Mack and Thomas Sorber were both extremely complimentary of this environment at McDonough Arena. Both of them said they love to play here because of all the fan support, how loud this gym gets because it's smaller. Both of them had nothing but great things to say about playing here at McDonough, which as caps off to students and everyone who came out, especially with Thursday being Thanksgiving. This is a holiday week, and this place was a good place to play. And one of the things I asked Cooley about was Drew Fielder, who I thought played really, really well, 4 for 4 from the field. He had 4 rebounds. He had 2 assists. He's trying to be physical. Ed said that, yes, he's gotten better being physical, but he needs to get better at being physical. So I can tell you what, that Drew Fielder's out there busting his tail to try to impress his coach, and he has tried to change his game, because I can tell you right now that's not the Drew that came in. He was more of a stretch guy. But again, here's a young man who should be complimented that in an era where kids don't like to do this, they'll leave, that he is sitting here trying to please his coach instead of saying, this is the way I play, and then if he doesn't play, he pouts at the end of the bench not doing that. You see that young man trying to do everything he can to contribute to winning. Georgetown 66, Wagner 41. This is Marcus Washington from MTC Media.